The KSG shotgun from Kel-Tec offers a lot of advantages in terms of a pump shotgun for home defense. Of course, its short overall length and its very high capacity make it an obvious choice for a lot of people when it comes to home defense. But one of the things that we often don't think about in terms of home defense, but might be more important for someone in a law enforcement or security role, is the ability to use specialty ammunition. And in this case, have a pump shotgun that has your specialty ammunition at the ready in a way that just isn't possible with any other design. Now, traditionally, we don't have two feed tubes. We just have one in a pump shotgun, semi-automatic shotgun. And what we would need to do is clear the chamber or make space in the tube for a specialty round. So let's say that I'm loaded up with double-aught buck, as most people would be inside of a law enforcement military capacity, maybe even for home defense, and I wanted to switch to a slug round, or something like this slug and pellet round, the PDX-1 round in 12 gauge from Winchester ammunition. If I wanted to switch normally, I would need to create space, empty out a round, open the chamber, dump this round in, and then close the slide action to get this round into the chamber. But what I've got here today is two feed tubes. So in this KSG shotgun, I've actually got one feed tube loaded with the double-aught buck and one feed tube loaded with the PDX-1 round, that slug round. So if I wanted the extra power of the slug, the extra precision of the slug, the extra stopping power, all I'm going to need to do is throw the manual switch that allows me to go from one tube to the other, work the pump action, and that puts that slug right into the chamber and allows me to fire it. Obviously, if I want to go back to buckshot, I can move that manual lever back over into the position it's in right now. Again, run the pump action, and that's going to allow me to get back into shooting the buckshot rounds as well. So I've got two targets set up downrange. Let's imagine for a second that the one on the left is going to be, someone charging at me, maybe with a knife, maybe someone firing a projectile weapon at me, and I'm going to use buckshot to engage that target. If this target were to be someone who I needed to be more precise with, maybe they're further away, maybe they're behind some kind of cover that I need the power of the slug to penetrate, or maybe they've taken someone hostage, they're grabbing someone who's relatively close, and I don't want to throw that full load of double-aught buck in that direction. I want to be much more precise and maybe go for the slug into the headshot. I'm going to be able to use that lever. I'm going to create a little more space here so we can really see the difference between what's going on with the buckshot and with the slugs. It's important to remember, of course, that we're going to see the wadding create some holes also, so we may need to take a closer look at exactly what's going on after this string of fire. I'm going to engage the target on the left with the buckshot as if it were a target coming straight towards me, maybe charging at me, firing a shotgun at me, firing a rifle at me in the open. Then I'm going to transition while I throw that switch to a slug shot in the target on the right. Maybe it requires a higher level of precision for some reason. It's got a bystander near it. Maybe it needs more penetration that I would get out of the slug, hiding behind cover for whatever reason. And then, of course, I could switch back to buckshot again, engage either target or a third target that we don't have. So let's take a look. Go ahead and chamber a round of buckshot, come up on that target on the left, and at this point, I am going to go ahead and throw that switch and go to my slug round. Firing that slug at the target, coming up, firing another slug at the target. Transition again back to buckshot at that first target, and now I'm going to go ahead and put the firearm on safe, and we'll lay it down on the ground. And whenever we shoot at paper targets or cardboard targets, in this case with a shotgun, we always have a lot of extra holes. We've got a lot of things going on because the wadding, of course, is going to make holes in this paper as well. But if we take a look at what happened with the buckshot pattern, we can see that it's all in this general area. A couple pellets may have flied right out of that A zone, but generally speaking, we've got the pellets where we want them, and we can see that the wadding also made a few holes in the paper. We look over here at our slug target, and remember that we're shooting that PDX-1 load, which is a slug with 3 pellets around it, and that helps us distinguish what was the slug and what was the wadding in some cases. So we've got some of the packing material and wadding that makes holes, but we clearly have a slug shot with 3 pellets inside of this A box, and up here we clearly have another slug shot with 3 pellets up there in that head area. As you can see, it's much simpler to switch from one round type to another using the 2 feed tubes of the KSG shotgun. Kel-Tec has really done a good job of making some things that weren't possible in the past, like super high capacity in a very compact shotgun, and switching between one type of ammunition and another, easy to do efficiently, even in the middle of a dynamic situation with this Kel-Tec KSG.